Alright guys, I'm back out here again at the range with a good old Ruger 1022. So I've got 3 boxes of ammo here with me today. I've got the Federal range pack here. This one is the standard velocity 1200 FPS 40 grain. I have with me as well the 710 FPS CCI Quiet for CCI Quiet rounds right here. Now I've done a video test on this particular round before. I'll link that old video somewhere in the description below, but I've done a test to see the difference between how quiet this is compared to the standard velocity 1200 FPS one. But today I also have this guy here with me. If you guys watched my previous video of this one, I mentioned in that video that I had heard about this CCI Semi-Auto, but I couldn't find it anywhere on the shelves. Well, guess what? We found some available at the store, so we picked up a few boxes of this CCI Quiet for Semi-Auto. So this one is 835 FPS. So a couple different things that we want to test out today with the CCI Quiet Semi-Autos. Number one, is it actually going to cycle properly through the Ruger 1022? Last time, this 710 FPS one didn't cycle, so I had to manually eject the cartridge every single shot with this CCI Quiet 710 FPS. Well, will that extra 125 FPS make it so that it does cycle properly through the Ruger 1022? That's test number one. We're going to test that out. The other thing we're going to test, and we're not going to test it very scientifically because I don't have like a decibel, I don't have some that detects the exact decibels or anything like that. We're going to test the difference in how loud each one of these different rounds are. And we're just going to play it by ear, I guess, because it's not going to be scientific at all. So we're going to shoot 5 rounds of the regular one, then we're going to shoot 5 rounds of the CCI Quiet Semi-Auto 835 FPS, then we're going to shoot 5 rounds of the 710 FPS CCI Quiets, and then just see, just with our ears, how much louder or how much quieter it gets as you go down in bullet speed there. So that's test number 2. And the third thing that we're going to test out today is, well, we know that this thing is zeroed in for the standard velocity one, and it basically shoots dimes with the standard velocity 1200 FPS round that I use here. But we're going to test out where the point of impacts are when I'm using these CCI Quiet Semi-Autos. So we're going to test that out at 25 meters and 50 meters, and then maybe out to 75 meters, and see where the point of impact is on that as compared to when I'm just using the standard velocity 1200 FPS rounds that I usually use, that this thing is zeroed in for. Maybe I will switch over to the CCI Quiet Semi-Autos and zero it in for this at the end of the day if it shoots okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and run these tests. Alright guys, so first test, the CCI Quiet Semi-Autos. We'll load up, we'll just load up 5 rounds of this. And first test is we're just going to see if it even cycles through the Ruger 1022 properly here. If that extra 125 FPS that you get in this one compared to the CCI Quiet Regulars that doesn't cycle, we'll see if this is the CCI Quiet Semi-Autos now. We'll just see if this actually cycles through. So we're not even going to be aiming at anything in particular. We'll just shoot this and see if it cycles properly. Five rounds, there you go. So I guess that extra 125 FPS does help with the cycling of the semi-autos. Just as a reminder, this is the 710 FPS one, and I'm gonna load 5 rounds of this. In case you guys haven't seen my other video, the last time I tested this one, I'm gonna load 5 rounds of this, and I'll show you guys that the 710 FPS one doesn't cycle. Okay, this is now the CCI Quiet Regular 710 FPS. Oh, see? It didn't cycle. Yeah, still doesn't cycle. Not surprised. Well, we already knew that that wasn't going to cycle, but just in case for you guys that haven't seen my other video of that. But yeah, there you go. So 710 FPS CCI Quiets, these guys here, they don't cycle through a semi-auto. We knew that already, but just prove it there once again. But I already noticed right there that it's still quite a bit quieter, even compared to the 835 FPS. So I guess that extra 125 FPS does make a difference for semi-autos to be able to cycle properly. All right, so the next thing we're gonna test out here is the sound. So I'm going to load up 5 rounds of the standard Veocity Federal rounds here, 1200 FPS. And I just have my mic basically pointed at the muzzle of my rifle here. So I'm just going to fire 5 rounds of this in rapid succession. And then we'll play it by ear. So I'm not going to shoot any steel or anything like that, so there's not going to be any interference noises. I'm just going to shoot directly at the sand over there. All right, you guys ready? All right, turn your volumes up for this. All right, there's 5 rounds of the standard Veocity, 1200 FPS. This guy right here. Next, we're going to load 5 rounds of the CCI Quiet for semi-autos, which is, again, 835 feet per second on the box. Or keep your volumes up the same as what you had it for at the last test. Okay, you guys ready? Cycles beautifully. I like that. So that's great. And then lastly, we're going to load 5 rounds of the CCI Quiet Regulars, 710 FPS ones here. This one I won't be able to fire in rapid succession because it doesn't cycle. So I'm just going to cut the video so that it sounds like it's firing in rapid succession. And yeah, I'll let you guys determine, on your own what the difference in volume is for each of these rounds. Is it a noticeable difference? I mean, sure, we can take a look at it with, decibel counter and whatnot and be all scientific, but realistically, the difference is what we hear when we're out in the field, right? So play it by ear, and you guys tell me if you guys notice, enough of a difference to, use one that doesn't cycle, or use the semi-auto quiets, or just use the regular Veocity. If there's enough of a difference to switch over to the quiets, maybe it could be worth it. But yeah, you guys determine that on your own. All right, we're gonna shoot now the CCI Quiet Regulars here. Again, I gotta cycle this manually. All right, there we go. So we did the standard Veocity, we did the Quiet semi-autos, and we did the Quiet Regulars. What did you guys think of the difference in the volume there? I can feel that, of course you're going to hear that crack with the standard Veocity, because it does break the sound barrier. And I do feel a difference with the Quiet semi-autos, but even comparing the Quiet semi-autos to the Quiet Regulars, that extra 125 FPS, I do still feel a noticeable difference in volume with the two Quiet rounds, even if it's just that 125 FPS difference. What I don't like about this one, obviously, is it doesn't cycle. Is it worth the difference that I notice in the volume? Probably not. If I was to go with one, I'd probably go with the Quiet for semi-autos. It's quite a bit quieter than the standard Veocity, and then it still cycles properly through the gun, which I like. So what I might do is I might just switch over to these CCI Quiet for semi-autos. I like this round. Alright guys, next test, we're going to check the point of impact difference of the CCI Quiet semi-autos compared to the standard Veocity. So I have 5 rounds of the standard Veocity loaded up in the magazine right now, just so we have a standard to compare it to. So I'll shoot 5 rounds of this at the, I guess the top red target, and then show you guys that it is pretty dialed in with the standard Veocity ammo that I have it zeroed in for. And then we'll switch over to 5 rounds of the CCI Quiet for semi-autos. There we go. So that is 5 rounds with the standard Veocity. You guys can see the grouping on that ammo is pretty spot on. Now we'll switch over to 5 rounds of the CCI Quiet semi-auto. We'll see where the point of impact is going to be for this, how much lower it's going to be. So this time we're going to go for the we're going to shoot the leftmost red target. It's not as much lower as I thought it was going to be. We're at 25 meters right now. I think I'm shooting a little off to the left, but if you guys can see, the group is still pretty good. The groups are still pretty tight, but it is shooting about, it looks like about ½ an inch low at 25 meters here. So yeah, we'll push her out to 50 meters, and then we'll see what the ballistic drop will be on this CCI Quiet for semi-autos. Alright guys, for this next test, we're back here at 50 meters now, and loading up the CCI Quiet for semi-autos. Now, just so you know, at 50 meters, with the standard Veocity federal rounds that I usually shoot, I still hit pretty much at the exact same as the point of aim. It's pretty much treat 50 meters like 25 meters. When I'm using the federal standard Veocity rounds. So we're not going to bother shooting that. We're just going to head straight for the CCI Quiet for semi-autos here, and then we'll shoot for the let's shoot for the middle bullseye, and then see where the point of impact is for the CCI Quiets back here at 50 meters. Let's go. Wow, that's very strange. It's shooting like how it's got about the same drop right now as it would have if I was shooting at 75 meters with the standard velocity ones. So that is interesting. So it's like at the very first hash mark down on my scope reticle here. Same as if I was shooting at 75 meters with a standard velocity. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, well, with that type of ballistics, I think I'm probably gonna keep shooting the standard velocities. I got like a bunch of these CCI Quiets though. And I did zero in my daughter's Savage Rascal with these CCI Quiets, so I guess she can keep on using these ones. I'm gonna keep on using my Federal standard velocity 40 grains, 1200 FPS ones. So, and yeah, that's it. We're gonna call that a day. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, hit that thumbs up button on the video, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the video. If you guys enjoyed the content and want to see more content like this, I do hunting, fishing, shooting, all kinds of outdoor stuff on my channel. Check out the rest of my videos on my channel. And if you like my content in general, I would highly appreciate it if you do decide to also subscribe to my channel. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.